From onboarding new hires to running payroll to managing insurance and employee benefits, human resources can get really overwhelming really quickly. As a busy business owner, we know you don't have time to sort through it all.
That's where we come in. As the team behind Core Business Resources, a niche HR consulting firm, we have over 50 years of combined experience with helping business owners and managers navigate all things HR.
And don't worry, our podcast will be way more fun than reading an HR handbook.
Which you need, by the way.
On this podcast, we'll answer questions about all things HR, like, is my business too small to offer insurance to my team?
Or is it time to bring my staff back into the office?
Or do I really have to worry about diversity?
I'm Aaliyah, the CEO and founder of Core Business Resources, or CBR HR.
I'm Megan, lead HR consultant for CBR.
And I'm Liz, CBR's HR and Insurance and Benefits Specialist.
And together, we're your human resource.
For today's podcast, we want to unravel this phenomenon called quiet quitting.
Ooh.
Why many workers are thinking, saying, or singing, take this job and shove it.
Oh boy. Wait, who sings that song?
Johnny Paycheck.
Johnny Paycheck.
Johnny Paycheck.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to look that one up. Okay.
Well, I'll get you to sing.
All right. Thank you.
Or MP3.
Thank you.
And we will discuss strategies to help combat this in the workplace. So ladies, let's do something a little different for this podcast.
Okay.
I know we've had trivia before, but let's play a game of Jeopardy.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, I love Jeopardy.
All right. R.I.P. Alex Trebek.
We have take this job and love it.
Okay. All right. Like it.
Terms of non-endearment.
Okay.
And the struggle is real.
Okay.
All responses, or the responses in the form of a question, should start with the letter S.
Oh, that's right. So we have to say it, our response.
Yes. Each category will have, let's say, an answer or a statement. So when you buzz in, you would have to respond with your answer in the form of a question.
Okay.
Like what is, what are, who is.
Okay.
You ready to play?
Yeah. I'm ready to try.
We don't have those buzzards, so
Okay.
I have doggy toys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever squeaks first.
Okay.
Love it. Okay.
All right. Whoever squeaks first. Got it. Okay.
Light squeak.
Lights.
So who wants to go first?
I'll take this job and love it for 200.
Take this job and love it for 200. All right. Prioritizing employees' mental health and promoting communication and collaboration among all team members contribute to a supportive and healthy workplace. This. Aaliyah.
Environment?
I will accept that.
Okay. What is environment?
Culture. Yes.
What is culture?
Ooh,
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Okay. It's a learning curve.
Right. There we go.
So we'll have Aaliyah.
Woohoo.
Okay.
Okay.
Pick a category, Aaliyah.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and let's keep it going. Take this job and love it for 400, please, Liz.
Absolutely. To help prevent employees from mentally checking out, it is important to have this between work life and personal life.
Yes.
Aaliyah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. What is balance?
Okay. Actually, this is Aaliyah.
What is work-life balance?
Very good. And we'll just do this. I switched it up. Sorry. Megan. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead and pick a category, Megan.
Terms of non-endearment for 200.
Okay. This term describes a disengaged employee who hasn't left their job physically, but has checked out emotionally and mentally.
What is quiet quitting?
Very good. Very good. Next category, Aaliyah.
Let's do take this job and love it for 800. Go for the big bucks.
Go for the big bucks. A practical strategy to help increase engagement and feeling valued is to ensure employees have this, AKA control over their work.
I'm not sure what that is.
Practical strategy to help increase engagement.
What is autonomy?
Yes.
Woo!
Very good. Employee autonomy, which is very,
Yay.
very important.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's do terms of non-endearment for 400.
Okay. This term describes a type of manager who excessively monitors an employee's actions and often criticizes their work.
What is a
Megan.
micromanager?
Yes.
I was going to say helicopter parent, but
There
we're in
you
the
go.
wrong,
Right.
wrong section
There
of
you go.
life. Okay.
There you go. There
Next
you go.
category.
Okay.
The struggle is real for $800. Employees feeling this in their jobs without a clear path forward can cause employee disengagement and dissatisfaction.
I'm not sure.
All right. Time is up. Stuck.
Stuck.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Stuck.
Okay.
Stuck in their job. Okay.
Absolutely. Now, who won here? We have 1, 2, 3. It's a tie.
Oh,
Nice.
that's great.
Isn't that
I love a
nice?
great resolution thing. Prizes.
Isn't that nice?
Chocolate.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you. We
Yay.
appreciate
I
that.
love it. Okay, great.
Very thoughtful.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's go back to the podcast and the topic of this podcast is take this job and shove it.
Okay.
So during this podcast, we want to unravel this phenomenon of what we call quiet quitting and why many workers are thinking, saying, or singing, take this job and shove it, and discuss strategies to help combat it in the workplace. Megan and Leah, why do you think quiet quitting is getting so much attention lately?
Well, I think quiet quitting is a new term for an old problem. I do think that during COVID, a lot of people started to just evaluate where they were, their happiness with their work. I think for a lot of people, especially if they're overworked, they realized that they were dissatisfied.
Burnout.
And so that's when a lot of people started to see this phenomenon that was really, we've seen this probably over the last 40 years or so, but it became a bigger issue, especially during COVID.
Yeah, I think just overall, there's a trend that there's a lot more disengaged employees in the workplace. And actually, I've seen a recent Gallup poll that says 50% of employees in the U.S. would identify themselves as a quiet quitter or someone who is experiencing burnout. And that number is just so shocking.
It is.
Yeah, I thought there would be more, actually.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just relating to personal past experiences.
Okay.
Let's not talk about that.
We'll let that go.
Yes. I think in order to address quiet quitting, companies really need to take a look at their team dynamics. Fortunately, there are strategies employers can utilize to address quiet quitting.
All right.
It boils down to fostering a work culture that promotes 3 big things. Number 1, getting employees engaged and motivated. Very important. Think inspiration, personal growth, and feeling that sense of fulfillment for work for employees. What makes an employee get up in the morning and be happy about going into work with a smile on their face instead of pressing the snooze button 50 times?
For sure.
Number 2, open communication and collaborative teamwork. Encourage everyone to talk openly and work well together. And that's management, executives, all the way down to every level in the organization. Leadership development, honing in and developing leadership skills across the board. And leaders can be not just managers or supervisors, it can also be team leaders or mentors or just someone. Everyone should have some type of leadership quality about them.
For sure.
If there is a negative work culture and environment, you're looking at a whole host of problems like unhappy employees, more people quitting, of course, and a hit to both the quality and quantity of work. A disengaged employee can spread dissatisfied behavior to other employees, thus causing like a domino effect in negativity in the workplace. Aaliyah, can you provide some insights on how employers can promote employee engagement and motivation?
Absolutely. I think that when you're talking about a satisfactory workplace, I think that there are a few things that come to mind. I think there's this old school thing called thank you. And it's just a little bit of appreciation and affirmation for whatever your employee is doing. Goes a long way. Of course, everybody wants to get paid well. Of course, we are all aware of that. But I do think that just simply affirming, especially when you've asked someone to do something and just to say thank you, I think it goes a long way. A lot of employees appreciate that. I do also think that there's, this work-life balance is key, like we talked about. I think during COVID, a lot of people realized, I don't have to work this way. And so I think that we have to realize that more and more employees are looking for opportunities to work in a way that not only, of course, allows them to make a living, but also allows them to do those things that are their passion. And so I think that that's also really important. And then I think, all employees, everybody, even me, everybody wants to evolve at work. No one wants to be doing the same thing today that you're doing in a year, in 5 years. And so finding those opportunities for employees to also be able to evolve, and whatever that is, sitting down with your employee, maybe during their annual review, and finding out, what are they interested in? Are they doing today what they want to be doing down the road? I think that that's also important. So that engagement and connection with each employee is very important. And that really helps to create that happy, satisfactory work environment. One thing that I know we try definitely to incorporate in our culture is just to, have meetings and connect. We have a client who we found out one of their employees left last year. And during her exit interview, we talked to her and she just basically said that she didn't feel connected. Didn't really know what was going on, didn't really know what her role was in the company. And so having huddles and whatever your meeting format is, whether it's huddles or your annual review or a quarterly check-in with teams, I think is really important as well.
It's important for the employee not to feel stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
true.
Megan, I know that recently we've had many issues with clients and had to have meetings where lack of communication and collaboration was a huge issue among the employees. Can you elaborate on how employers can encourage collaborative teamwork?
For me, it's just keeping those lines of communication open. And that means bi-directional. So from management to the employees, to the management. And essentially this type of communication, if you can create an environment where you're encouraging that, is what creates a great workplace, essentially. People are going to feel like their input matters. They're going to feel like, they're contributing. And you're just going to see a better spirit of collaboration and teamwork if you can create this communication, environment.
We talk about open door policies. We put it in our communication. We put it in our handbooks. But I think that a lot of times we don't walk the walk as managers and leaders. And so I think that that's the other thing, is just to find those opportunities, whether it's in a meeting or whether it's, kind of walking down the hallway or having a conversation with somebody maybe about one topic and taking that opportunity to really make sure that your teams and your staff are able to talk to you about whatever their concerns are is important. But I also think it goes both ways. Like a lot of times you as an employee, if your boss or manager or the leader of the company is saying, hey, how are things going? Answer the question. Tell them what you think.
Be honest.
Take that opportunity. I think a lot of times employees have concerns and they don't walk through that open door and really share those concerns with the leaders of the company. So it's a balance, really, of leaders and managers creating those avenues to be able to communicate openly, but for employees to also walk through that door and share their thoughts as well.
Yeah. So just expanding on that, if you're an employer out there and you're like, well, how do I do that? How do I make that happen? It's just about being intentional. So either ahead of that annual review, telling the employee, hey, during this time, we're going to review your performance, but this is your time. Come prepared. That helps people. They don't know what to expect sometimes at annual reviews. So just tell them. Or maybe it's at your staff meetings. Maybe you tell people what an open door policy is. Maybe they read it in their handbook on day one, but they've not thought about it again. So just
which is
finding those, or they never read it. Just finding those moments to keep encouraging that communication. You're going to find those employees that are disengaged or dissatisfaction a lot quicker because often you're finding them at the exit interview. They're like, well, I was actually unhappy about all this other stuff. And then you say, well, did you talk to anyone? And they'll say, no. You're like, okay, well, couldn't do a lot at that point. So
that's true. And I think, we talk about teamwork and we talk about collaboration are, nice to haves, but I think ultimately they're must haves in a healthy working environment for sure.
So number 3 for a tactic for an employer to try would be leadership development. It's crucial to have the right people in management and to keep them engaged and motivated. To listen to them and make sure they don't feel stuck.
Yes, true.
And managers have to keep their fingers on the pulse of the workplace environment, pay attention, look for the signs. And that can make a world of a difference. Part of the proactive approach on spotting the signs early is so important, and make sure that person is not tuning out. And promote drive. Make sure you know what makes each employee tick. Asking employees what matters to them and acknowledging their concerns play a huge role in emotional intelligence, and it helps with the employee's well-being. with a bit of empathy as well. That is super important.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
People gravitate with others who are empathetic.
Yeah.
So all this focus and making sure that you pay attention to your employees is crucial in preventing quiet quitting.
It's crucial for both sides. It's important for management, but it's also important for employees to manage and work on that engagement. I think it's about managers developing as leaders, and it's also about employees being in tune with their teams. Both of us are responsible in a happy and effective workplace. So I think this also includes having a positive attitude, really caring about your team, caring about your role in the workplace as well. And then providing that constructive feedback is important also for managers and for their team. And I think especially for managers, you have to walk the walk. You have to be an all-around trustworthy individual as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in summary, if you can create an environment where you have great communication between your employers, your employees, you're having those touch points, you're making sure you're putting people in management that can do these sorts of things and can make these connections, or you can train them to do it. Maybe they don't have that skill, but you can train it. You are going to create an environment where your employees are all in, fully charged, and ready to do work every day.
Yeah. Well, we hope we've given you plenty to think about regarding quiet quitting and have armed you with some solid strategies to keep your teams engaged and burnout at bay. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to Your Human Resource. If you need more hands-on support from our team, visit cbrhr.com and fill out our contact form. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. We'll see you in the next episode.